Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank studio. Now, look, I look back at my time on this show, and I've talked to so many passionate people who love coastal Mississippi, who could really kind of talk to you about any angle of this amazing place. But one person that always stuck out to me, and that's my friend Nicole Martz. And I'm going to go ahead and start the conversation with Nicole, and then I'm going to tell you about the most recent iteration of her career. But before we go any further, let me just say, Nicole, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
I never know what iteration of your life we're going to be at when we talk, but your passion for coastal Mississippi has been incredible, and we'll remind people why I feel that way and where that passion comes from. But you're now the public relations and communication manager for the Mississippi Aquarium. What a great fit for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It is such a joy to be here. All these people here are so passionate about what they do, and it's a really fantastic place.
So, look, just to remind people, you've been kind of entrepreneurial in your sort of efforts around tourism in coastal Mississippi. So, you kind of tell people where that passion came from.
Indeed. Growing up here along coastal Mississippi, a lot of times you heard through the grapevine, there's nothing to do down here. And I, of course, thought quite the opposite. There's always, a hidden gem right around the corner, a fun little mom and pop restaurant that you can go visit. And I wanted to explore that a little bit more. And that was reinvigorated with a Coast Young Professionals trip through the Port of Gulfport. We passed by it almost every day, right on Highway 90, and got to do a tour. And I recorded some of those bits and pieces so I could reference it later. And I said, you know what? The world needs to know about this. So from that, I decided to create a YouTube channel and talk about all of the amazing gems here on coastal Mississippi, just like Mississippi Aquarium.
And you did, and you had a lot of success by highlighting, in some cases, maybe you take a trip out to Ship Island, maybe you'd go to the Mississippi Aquarium, maybe you would go to a local restaurant. But you had a lot of fun with it. And you know what was cool about your staying power as it related to it? You stuck with it.
Yeah, still going strong, over 200 videos, and I do it in my free time, but definitely Mississippi Aquarium is my driving focus now.
Okay, so tell us about what you're doing these days.
Okay, I am public relations and communications manager for Mississippi Aquarium, so I get to go on amazing shows just like yours, Ricky, and talk about all the fun stuff we've got coming up at the aquarium, all of the amazing animals, and you get to go behind the scenes sometimes.
Well, I've enjoyed getting behind the scenes with various guests from there, and Kurt and I have stayed in touch over a long period of time, the president of the aquarium. And one of the things that I'm most impressed with, I think a very important move that was made, I've mentioned it before, but there was an effort to put on the board of directors the kind of directors who run businesses and come from a lot of different walks of life. And what they brought to the table was a very significant awareness around what we need to do to make the aquarium the best it can be. So the aquarium gets opened up during the pandemic, during tropical systems, and couldn't pick a worse time to try to open an aquarium that involved people standing next to each other,
Definitely.
And then over time, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just think that shows, their perseverance and their dedication to their cause.
That's right. And then along the way, though, they got really committed to listening to visitors and making adjustments and adding, more capabilities, more very special additions were added to the aquarium. And it's really added up to, cumulatively to some visitor numbers year over year that have been terrific. And so, I would say the aquarium's on a roll now. I mean, is that the way you would look at it?
Definitely. I think, the sky's the limit, and we're here to be a premier attraction along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're due to welcome our 1 millionth visitor this year, and we are so excited. But yeah, we're always looking to push the envelope and bring exciting attractions and new additions to our visitors, including our virtual reality experience that we just opened in February. And we're working this year to build a on-campus penguin habitat for our colony of African penguins. So we're in a fundraising mode for that. So lots of events and programming to drive that message home.
2024 is the year of the penguin. It's interesting how penguins have been always something people are enamored with. I mean, it's just a kind of a cool thing, isn't it?
For sure. These birds are so special. And with our colony of African penguins, they are an endangered species. So we're able to be advocates and spread their conservation message with every single encounter or event or visit or anything like that. So it's really phenomenal.
Well, I think a big move was to take what was that sort of event space and turn it into a bunch of attractions all in one place. But that's gone over really well, hasn't it?
Wildly popular for sure. You walk in and you're instantly greeted by a giant Pacific octopus and pot-bellied seahorses, and you can just feel the excitement when kids, walk into the building and get to see these creatures in real life.
So, Nicole, when you think about this campus, we had a great conversation with Tommy Allen, who's with Ely Gould Hardy Architects, about how the aquarium sort of meshes with and creates synergies for the city of Gulfport. But when you're standing at sort of overlooking the Barksdale Pavilion and the small craft harbor and the beach and now this new great tram bridge that comes across Highway 90, when you stand there and see that campus, what's in front of you and what's behind you, I mean, it's a very special campus, a very special location, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I kind of, especially, in the late evenings when everything's kind of a little calmed down and peaceful, you can kind of stand on our ticketing plaza and you get an astonishing view and get in your feels a little bit about how much we've grown and, how much more we have to grow, and the possibilities are endless.
So, okay, so you're explaining to someone about the aquarium that's never been there before. How do you talk to them about it?
It just depends, of course, but we're, a cutting edge facility. We're brand new, located here on Gulfport in coastal Mississippi, and we have something for everyone. There is, of course, the Changing Tides building that you mentioned that has a giant Pacific octopus, a two-toed sloth. We have a river habitat that kind of shows off Mississippi and, one of our treasures here in the state. And it's really unique perspectives and a one-of-a-kind experience. So if people are looking to make special memories, I tell them this is where they need to go.
So you've got the dolphin encounter, you've got the penguin encounter, sea track, trainer of the day. But what's interesting that related to all of those things, and even the new exhibits that you've added, is that people want to be up close and personal, and they want to connect, and the closer the better. I mean, there's just a lot to be said about that, isn't there?
Oh, most definitely. All of our encounters, like you mentioned, are add-on experiences, but it adds to your day, right? You're able to touch a dolphin and see what it feels like, or meet a penguin for the first time. You build those connections and those memories with your family that leads people to be even more advocates for nature and our local environment. And that's what we're here for.
So in your previous incarnation, you actually came to the aquarium and you did the experience where you actually went underwater. Is that right? Did I remember that right? Okay,
I did. Sea Trek.
What kind of impression did that make on you?
It was a mesmerizing experience because you're completely engrossed in it, right? You change into a wetsuit, you don a ladder into the main habitat of the large aquatic wonders building, and you're surrounded by all the fish. And for 30 minutes, you're, one with the ocean, and it's remarkable.
It's amazing. One of the big conversations that Kurt and I always have is what it takes to pull this off. Thinking about the clarity and salinity of the water and all the filtration systems behind the scenes, and the veterinarian support that is needed. I mean, it's a little city there with just about everything a city would need, isn't it?
Indeed. We have a little bit of everything. Our team is small but mighty, and they're all so passionate and so intelligent and so dedicated to really making this a world-class institution and for the health and well-being of our animals.
Yeah, it is a full-time job. And then there's this off-site area where all animals and fish are quarantined, and tremendous coordination between that off-site facility and this one, isn't there?
Indeed, that's where our rehabbed turtles, when we receive cold stunned turtles from up north, go, and they get around the clock veterinary care, and like you said, somewhere our quarantine animals go. So it's definitely an effort.
So, well, listen, we're coming to the end of this segment, but when we get back on the other side, I want to talk a little bit about families that might be coming here from all over, heck, all over America, really. And what they could expect to experience when they come here. It's going to be, I mean, obviously the summer tourism period is really important to coastal Mississippi. It's especially important to the Mississippi Aquarium. But we'll chat about that as well. And I want to talk about what it means to be a trainer for the day. We'll chat about that as well. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Nicole, who is Martz, who is from the Mississippi Aquarium, and we'll continue the conversation after this break. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank studio. I have my friend Nicole Martz. She works with the Mississippi Aquarium. She's in public relations and marketing, and someone I've had a great relationship with over the last several years. I've always been drawn to her passion for coastal Mississippi, and now she can share that passion very focused on the aquarium. Listen, summer is a really important time for the museum, but that doesn't mean still that you don't have special events during the 4th of July or Father's Day or whatever. But let's just first of all start with the summer. When families come there, many have never been there before, and they're just looking to experience this great experience. The summertime is a busy time for y'all, isn't it?
Indeed, that's our busy season, and we're happy to welcome families from all across the region.
And you do see them from everywhere. I bet some come from outside the United States.
Indeed, sometimes they're down here in coastal Mississippi and looking for fun things to do, or even locals wanting to check out their local aquarium. We have people from all over.
I mentioned you have events on top of the reality of just the normal flow of visitors, but what's going on for Father's Day?
Of course, there's something happening all the time, but for Father's Day, we want to celebrate those dads, those rad dads, so they get in free at Mississippi Aquarium with the purchase of another admission. So great time to check it out, bring the kids, and make those memories.
4th of July is a busy time for that whole area because you have the fishing rodeo going on and fireworks display and all this stuff happening down there at the pavilion across the highway. But a lot of people are going to be using that parking garage and walking across that new bridge. But 4th of July is a big time for the aquarium, isn't it?
Exactly, especially with the opening of the CTA tram bridge, like you mentioned. They're going to walk right past us, but we'll be open in the evening times. We call it Fins, Fireworks, and Frosty Beers, and we have a special viewing area and some dining options. And if you haven't ever been, and Ricky, I don't know if you've been to the aquarium at night, it's so magical. It's like an experience, unlike the daytime, of course, but one of our team members jokes that it's kind of like night at the museum, where everything just comes alive. It's really special.
Yeah, so I haven't been there at night, but I've been there a couple of times early on for events that were around the dawn. But I bet at dark, I'm just thinking the lights and the way the lights all blend, and I bet it's a beautiful place at night.
Indeed, it's mesmerizing.
Okay, so what does it mean to be a trainer for a day?
So we're going to have to get you on the books to come and do this, but it's a lot of fun. You get to shadow some of our incredible team members and actually prepare food for the dolphins and get to go behind the scenes and see what all goes into that, or into our otter area and get to learn about, how they take care of the otters. And you get right up and close and personal with the dolphins, and it's pretty fantastic. And it's so informative. If you ever have any kind of passion or any kind of drive to learn more, this is definitely the encounter for you.
What's interesting, we sometimes kind of fly right past it, literally fly right past it, but the birds and that whole area there, that's very special, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I call it a little oasis because you go in, there's a water fountain, there's a pond. We have ducks just walking right past you. So if you get an annual pass and you ever need that moment of serenity, you just come on in and just hang out in the aviary for a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of really unique birds, colorful birds. It's fun to just go stand there and just take it all in.
Exactly. We've got scarlet ibis, and we've got a Lady Amherst pheasant that has the most striking colors. It's fantastic.
Oh, and by the way, you got some good food at the aquarium, don't you?
Yeah, right next door, a cafe overlooks Jones Park, and I think they were voted best burger at one point in time, and it's quite delicious.
It is so cool. So yeah, you get to work with some really dedicated people. That's probably one of the fun things about working there. People, it's a labor of love. People are very committed to being in that kind of work. And they could do anything, probably could make more money doing other things, but they love doing what they do. That's the one thing that there's a passion for it, the people who work there. And it makes it special to be able to work with people like that, doesn't it?
Absolutely, you've got that right. It's a special kind of feeling. I pinch myself coming into work every day.
So anyway, Kyle, hey, by the way, how much time we got left?
We got about a minute 35 to go.
Okay, good. Hey, Kyle, have you been to the museum?
I have been to the aquarium a couple of times, actually, but it was mostly a tour of the back end,
I said
setting up music.
museum. I meant the aquarium.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna shame on you if you would have said no.
I might have also guilt tripped him. You'll have to come though. I think you'd like the virtual reality, Kyle.
Oh, no doubt. Well, listen, Nicole, it's a pleasure to spend some time with you, and I've really enjoyed kind of catching up with you. It's cool that you're able to, in your spare time, continue to show the wares of coastal Mississippi from just about every angle. You've really kind of mastered that. That's been fun to watch. Continue to keep doing a great job doing that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And tell my friends at the aquarium I said hello. So this has been Nicole Martz from the Mississippi Aquarium. Listen, if you hadn't been there in a while, you got to go check it out. Always doing things to freshen it up, to make it better. And again, if you haven't been there in a while, you'll be surprised about the progress they've made. It's really cool. They're listening and they're changing, and it's been very exciting to watch them, and their attendance has really reflected those goals. So have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.